one of the biggest high-profile matches, highly anticipated, and of course, post-introduction of the amazing sponsor known as Cloud9. Cloud9, speaking of which, going for the same bans, and Navi, same thing and same story. And quite honestly, I really enjoy the idea of the bans and the meta as well, just shifting towards respect bans more than anything else. Of course, I think Navi are very aware of Sing Sing's capabilities on that Invoker, as well as the Visage that Cloud9 have always coveted. Now, personally, from my experiences, I know they don't actually choose that hero that often anymore because they think that it doesn't do enough. But at the same time, Cloud9 recognizing and paying homage to Puppy's jungle forces and saying that you're not going to get either of those this time around, buddy. So they're picking up Luna first, and it's somewhat bold to pick up the carry, but very reminiscent of the conclusion of 2013 rather, when it was basically Luna Dota versus Luna Dota.
Yeah. And Luna Dota, man, it's one of those teams too. Like Cloud9 are one of those teams that I always loved watching. Their Luna Dota, because they'd start off with this, like, I remember, like, how long ago? I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago. And I was sitting there debating the fact that Luna in the off lane would be great. Absolutely amazing. All you needed was just basically a little bit of help and you can get a kill any time. And they ended up running this off lane Luna, played by Bone7. They ran a safe lane Lycan. And then it was just like 2 other range heroes in the bottom lane. I think one of them might have been VS, something like that. And it was just like this huge burst of damage at the very, very start. It took 4 to 5 hits just to kill off a support hero on the bottom lane. That was all from the very get-go. Like, no stuns required version of killing. So yeah, I love it whenever Cloud9 play this. We'll see though if we go a bit more to the standard, which is going to be a bit more of a safe lane Luna. I say standard because we've seen Luna in the middle lane already tonight. And Puppy is not going to mix things up too much. So Nature's Prophet comes up, so they keep their options for split push, and it worked well for them in the last game. That Nature's Prophet TP in, it turned the tides of that top lane.
Yeah, honestly, I love the first 2 picks. I think as soon as the new patches were introduced, and I still call them new patches now, but 6.79 as well as 6.80, which were kind of groundbreaking patches, if you would, in terms of latest developments. I'd like to say that, yeah, these 2 picks that are first picked this game, Luna as well as Prophet, a lot of people, and I sincerely mean a lot of people when I say that, they thought that these heroes kind of fell off because they just couldn't keep up with the pace of the game. But lo and behold, they're making their presence in one of the biggest matches, and quite honestly, I've never felt for once that the Bulldog in Nature's Prophet has ever died. And I've never also felt that Luna has lost her ability to transition, because honestly, there are reasons why she gets consistently picked up at the highest level matches. It's the fact that in a 5v5 composition, in a teamfight scenario, as well as a scrimmage of 5 players versus 5 other individuals, this hero, the things that she provides with her movement speed, her range, her ability to dish out massive amounts of bursts in teamfights while maintaining the potential to be the strongest late game when it comes to a 5v5 scenario, once again, because Glaives are pretty good at that. It's just a fantastic pickup all around, to the point where I have to say, yeah, she might have to get a little bit tweaked once again, because she's been receiving slight buffs here and there, whether it's the Glaives or the Lunar Blessing getting the better scaling of the damage. But she really does just provide way too much when it comes to carry.
Well, the hilarious thing is, though, it's not even the Lunar Blessing. I don't think that buff up's changed anything. The Glaives have probably been the biggest change of all over on the Luna, but it's also been the shift of the meta. Like, where we're realizing that we need to have a little bit of early game aggression. So you've had that mini stun. It works beautifully up against like offline heroes like a Timbersaw, and
Prophet.
Then and Prophet. Yeah, you stun these guys up, and then you can't just run yourself away. And then you have this transition into a pushing kind of thing, which always happened with the Glaives. Even with the older version of the Glaives, it was powerful. But with the new version of the Glaives, it's even more powerful, especially when you find like 2 heroes caught out by themselves. At which point you just may as well just like type GG and use no hands. And then you've got this other transition, which there's like into this team fight kind of thing where you buff up everybody. And no matter how you rework the Luna, all those kind of like base core elements are going to remain. But it's just so important these days when people play such a dynamic style as we play. You need to have dynamic heroes. So heroes that will push, heroes that will kill, heroes that can just sit back and farm. And Luna ticks all 3 of those boxes.
Exactly, she really does excel at all the departments that she's involved in. And once again, that's just my basis for the fact that I feel that she's slightly overpowered, because she's not just a jack of all trades, she's sort of an ace of all trades. And it's not exactly an existing quality or series of qualities that are present in every single hero. I think Nature's Prophet actually excels at that in most departments as well, if not some really greatly, others not as greatly. But yeah, my basis for Luna is that in a 5v5 Dota game, there is no carry here that can topple her. I mean, we talk about the metagame, but even in the previous metagame when Animage was pretty much like a scary hot pick that could have always popped up as the last pick, and all of a sudden game would be, as you said, GG, no hands kind of thing. I've always felt, and I think I've demonstrated on the live stream too before, is that Luna actually farms better than Animage, even with a Battle Fury, depending on the items, and she also carries harder than the Animage. So, yeah, I guess it's a weird trade-off, and I think it goes for opinions and as well as experiences to speak for. But aside from that, I've always felt that the hero is extremely powerful. Now, I guess the real story here, though, is that Navi with Nature's Prophet and Ancient Apparition, I think they're going for something that I've also touched upon a little bit earlier. It couldn't really come to pass because the Apparition was banned, but here it is, the AA Earthshaker combination in conjunction with the Nature's Prophet.
So it's like hell, man.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you remember, like, I think in history, there's only one person that I've ever seen play a mid-slow ES or a core ES.
Oh yeah? Who was that?
It was Dendy.
Yep.
I
remember that match as well.
Dendy played a core ES, and do you remember the build? Because I remember there was a Daedalus in the mix.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the rest of it though. There was a Daedalus,
I think it was
Blink Dagger.
Yeah, there was Blink Dagger, Phase Boots, I believe. Daedalus was involved, and it was a. I still remember that game too. I actually remember the most important fight, which was at the Roche Pit. It was against Liquid, and Korak got stuck up on the hill as Lifestealer and couldn't do anything. He was the most farmed hero. He could have man-fought the Earthshaker, who was the core hero, and he got stuck up on the cliff between the tree line and the Roche Pit. And what ended up happening was they lost that fight and ended up losing the game. That was actually one of the most intense matches of Dota, most electrifying matches, I have to say. It was so entertaining to watch back in the day, but I don't think the core Earthshaker is going to come to pass this game, unfortunately. No. And if it does, I don't see it having much success against the Storm Spirit.
No, this almost feels like a just like a babysit kind of lane. It could be aggressive, like you could run the Earthshaker and AA up on the top, but you're going to need to have somebody who is really like frontline material kind of ganker. For sure. And I don't know if like we'd look at like an arrow or Vorst, like a fissure into an arrow, and then with the chilling touch, then you get your ranged DPS coming in. But like if it's a Storm Spirit in the safe lane, we know that Eternal Envy has done that a couple of times in the past. That's a possibility. If it's going to be a Luna safe lane, they'd probably want to do it, but they go for controlling heroes. If it's going to be aggressive tri lane or not, you'll find out as we get more heroes out from Navi. But the Rubik pickup is kind of like that safe guy. Pick up someone, throw them back, have the AoE stun. You know that you should never really lose too much control out of the lane. And AA and Earthshaker won't really be ready to kill anybody straight away. It's good at level 1 fights, but you might have enough time to get Rubik up to that level 3. So then you have the 2 points Fade Bolt, and then the Earthshaker AA lane goes down. And now we can reveal the anti-mage pickup. We're going late game, man. We're going late game.
Did it.
That AA Earthshaker, like Earthshaker will be like a babysitter off lane, and they're going to babysit the AM down and bottom.
Yeah. Now, I could get reprimanded pretty harshly if I'm wrong on this one, but I honestly feel like Cloud9 have absolutely nothing to worry about. This hero is nothing like what it used to be. It used to be that auto win slash no fun pick that used to shut down games completely, because what he would do is take farm for 25 minutes, take over the game with man to Battle Fury, possibly a heart depending on how well he farmed and how much space he was given. But honestly, yeah, Cloud9, they're confident, man. They're gonna go aggressive trialing with this for sure. And by aggressive, I mean maybe they're gonna just try to match the tri lane. So if Navi decides to actually dodge tri lane, then
I'm not even feeling that from Cloud9. Like, Cloud9 don't need to go aggressive here. They've just picked up Axe, man.
10 seconds
like,
remaining.
you can throw him inside the jungle for a long time, even if you want to. Put Luna up on the top, Storm Spirit in the mid. Rubik can be keeping Luna safe up on that top lane. You don't need much more up on that top. And then you get a hero who can rotate up nicely, like a Bat Rider, or I was actually thinking a Timbersaw. Considering you are still going up against an Earthshaker Fissure. So, something that could just jump over the top of that. Run him on an off lane. AM might burn out the mana of the Timbersaw, which is the only reason why it could be a little bit worse. Yeah, and the Magnus banner is 100% on that money. The team fight from Navi would be really scary, but it's the Empower buff up on the anti-mage, and they throw an Earthshaker in the middle of that fight with a good RP. Life would have been very, very difficult there for Cloud9. I don't think Cloud9 have this in the bag yet. You are right, Anti-Mage isn't what it used to be, but at the same time, like with this Navi lineup, their split push completely outstrips C9's. They have to keep their mind on the Storm Spirit, obviously, but with an AA ulti and a Prophet ulti and a Pudge coming up.
Oh my goodness.
We're man-moding, peoples! We're man-moding!
This is going to be very interesting to see a Sing Sing Storm Spirit versus a Pudge matchup. That's a matchup that gets a heavy amount of influence from pubs, because most of the time that's where you'll see it. Very interesting matchup, nevertheless. Could go both ways depending on how skill shots are landed. But with the Axe pickup as well as the Pudge now, the thing is Pudge actually works with this lineup. And part of the reason why is because with Earthshaker as the initiating stun, not only can you follow up with pretty much a guaranteed hook most of the time, but if you look at Cloud9's lineups, like, they don't actually have anything to counter engage some sort of a Pudge initiation. And the thing with Pudge is, like, if you can actually hook a target in competitive, he should actually be one of the top picks, because what he can do is just disposition constantly, and it's basically
Navi's turn to
basically like a Magnus in his prime. But if I didn't get too drawn by that, like, I would have said Dazzle is a favorable pick here. Entirely because I have some insider information about C9, and basically I know for a fact that this is a Bone 7 Axe that always goes aggressive tri-lane, and they've actually told me that they never jungle the Axe.
Really?
Because they don't think it's good. Yeah, specifically, I've heard it from themselves that they've run this tri-lane before, I've run this tri-lane before, exactly, and it's extremely powerful because the early level aggression, totally, even if you have Apparition and Earthshaker, the best thing that those heroes can do is shut it down or try to hold it off. They can't manfight that. You can't manfight the Axe. It's impossible.
Would you try and switch it up though? So, like, okay, take for example Navi do know what you know. Would they then try and then go, let's lane switch it? Do we put Pudge down that bottom lanes? At least they got some kind of man on the front lines to go up against that Axe.
Oh, Axe is the man. Man, Toby. There is no man, even the abomination known as Pudge himself, that can face up against the wrath of the man himself. And honestly, I think Axe pretty much hard counters Pudge in the lane too, to be honest, even without creeps. So I think it's gonna be a dangerous call. I mean, if it's not the manly mode factor, 1v1 factor, it's the fact that Dazzle is such a devastating force when it comes to melee fights, because that healing, the difference that it creates in an engagement is absolutely absurd and unparalleled in the early levels.
Well, here it is, man. Your aggressive try coming with a 5-man smoke inside the base. No waiting. They're coming down as quickly as they possibly can to that bottom lane. While Lavors is leading out his team on the bottom lane. And not only is he blinded, he's also gagged with this set that he's wearing.
Oh, they're doing it. I was wondering why Luna purchased the Ring of Basilius against the Prophet. He's going to be lacking regen, but not if you have the Aegis at the start of the game.
And then one defensive ward that's up and running. And Navi will be looking for the kills here. Like, they'll be looking for like Cloud9 to do exactly what we thought they'd do, which is like run through this direction. And
oh, if they're gonna
spending his time blocking him,
my gosh,
they're gonna be careful about this, because here they come. Puppy's on his way in, but Kuro, I guess his Fidget's gonna scout it out. Aoi is so low. Static Throne, the Fidget is there. Puppy, he might even get a kill. No, he doesn't. Aoi is so low. Roshan's beating them down. Then he hasn't leveled up Hawk, but the first blood does go to the Storm Spirit. So that's one upside out of all of this, but they burned through a lot of consumables to do what they just did.
Yeah, that's actually the thing. I used to think First Bloods were big deals, especially in the tri-lane versus tri-lane era. But right now, what just happened for Puppy actually has very minimal game impact. As a matter of fact, it was a good thing that they were able to scout out the most. Yeah, Dandy's calling out the sneaking tactics. But yeah, as you said, consumables have been pulled out. And of course, Puppy Dying gave them a lot of good intel. So this is going to progress on to somewhat of a normal game now.
But at the same time, it's not normal in one of the lanes, and that's Dendy's lane. You've got Storm Spirit, who has the bottle already coming out in the courier. He'll use this Tango chair once he's finished blocking up the creep wave. In fact, now he uses it. So you got a bottle straight away, because that's where the impact comes from the First Blood. First Blood, it goes to Sing Sing. He gets the bonus gold, and he also got the better block on the mid lane. So now Dandy is also battling up against the high ground. Let's check out our other lanes though, because we've got a Vorst up here on the top lane. So Navi in fact tried to dodge it, and we have a Luna solo up here on the top lane up against an aggressive tri-lane, while Funnick goes in the bottom lane. So I was right to a point, just on the wrong lanes. Navi was looking to dodge it from the get-go.
For sure, they have to, man. You can't man fight the Axe. It's impossible right now, especially with the Dazzle. That's basically the melee combo of death. You can't withstand that at all. And I know Bone 7 got the Berserker's call, but hey, you don't need the Helix if you have the burst damage coming out of the Shadow Priest.
Copy. Picked up by Pylai Die, but remember that with that chilling touch, it's a little bit of extra damage, but with Aoi 2000 now returning up towards the top lane, C9 have a lot of extra support, but with these fidgets, it's making the pull points very difficult. That camp is already blocked up for the future. But you also notice too how he like, yeah, get this man some poison touch. He needs that second level.
Definitely wants the experience as soon as possible, so the aggression can be cracked up with the power spike coming out of the level 2 supports. A lot of good juking and jiving coming out. Now Havost at the front lines and
with a good fissure and a chilling touch, nice pick up by Paladai. Force him back, but Havost jumps in deeper. Wow, he does a lot of damage. Not to mention the damage, he's burning out the mana of the extra heal. And he might almost, with this kind of aggression, force Dazzle's going to a shallow grave, but Aoi 2000 is going to basically pull up those socks and go in for the poison touch.
See, this is what I love about Havost. I can tell you very confidently that every other anti-mage player in the scene would have actually stayed in the lane and tried to control the creeps while the supports were quote-unquote creating space. Now, in terms of efficiency, I can't say it was the best move, but Havost is just, he's always asserting his dominance. If he sees the potential of a kill, he will go for it whether he thinks he's going to die or not. And it's just, it's so amazing to see because psychologically, even Eternal Envy tells me himself, is like sometimes this guy dies 5 times and still comes out the most farmed hero on the map, and it's absolutely incredible what he can do.
He'll be able to do something, we'll be able to do something in just a moment. Kuro managed to grab the Invis rune from the top river. And with Aoi 2000 where he is, they could look for a revenge kill. Havost jumps up, the finish is going to be perfect over both Pylai Die, but Havost maybe not so perfect. He was caught on the wrong side, the fissure right there. So there's already the quick heal, and Puppy is in close. Cold feet on Aoi 2000, they'll tick him out right now. The courier's also getting sniped out in the meantime. There's a Dire Courier going down. Pylai Die, Funny gets TP'd in to help him out. One losing beam was not enough. And that now goes 2-2 on the board. But more importantly, that Dire Courier, it died up here on the top lane. It got sniped.
Yeah. Honestly, Funnick is such a good player. Just that's all I have to really say about that. His awareness is phenomenal. His teamfight presence and his usage of spells is pretty much paramount. Like, he really is just a fantastic player all around. And I know he's a quiet guy, so he doesn't get the recognition he deserves. And he used to get a lot of hype, but I guess that's somewhat died down. He has expressed it before that ever since he's joined Navi, he's kind of been missing the hype that he used to get.
He's coming in for Bone 7 right now. The call's a little bit off target, and Kuro, he thought about Fissure locking him in for a moment. Decides against it because he's just realized, wait, I've got to do myself a nice pull here. So that's some easy money.
Not only that, but if I was a level 4 Axe and I see that kind of a creep wave build up, I could
look
just
what he
turn
does
on
too. He does a pull down now.
Yeah.
Rare moments you can do that. This is one of them.
He's gonna be checking the 4-minute rune now. Both of them, of course. Bone 7 now gets a haste rune though. This is gonna crank up the aggression of the Axe right about now. And if he picks it up and goes straight to the creep camp, he's gonna find Kuroki.
He's going mid. They want to kill off Dendy. They've realized too that Dendy is still getting some decent farm in the mid lane. He's keeping up with Sing Sing, which is a really scary kind of thing. But it's also because the lane switching, they've got to shut down one of these lanes. They can't. They know they can't really kill off a Vorst right now. So Denny is the better target. But Puppy gives him a chilling touch. There's still a hook available. 3 levels up. That's why Denny's moving a little bit higher. We just have the line for Sing Sing. But in comes Funnick. TP's himself in. There will be the battle hunger out in Funnick. So he's got to keep careful with his life points for now. But there's a rotation coming in from the Earthshaker. Kuro was moving up the river, but it was spotted by the Dire Observer Ward. Hence C9 now back behind their tier 1 tower.
Close call. Very interesting series of events. I thought Dendy might have actually dropped the hook, but this time he goes for it, doesn't get it on the money yet. But knowing Dendy, his tendencies are going to allow him to secure something in very short time.
Well, now that he has his Dismember up and running, once he levels it, there we go. Yeah. Watch for those hooks in. Pilot Eye's coming down to this bottom lane to play as the Rubik up against Divorce. He's probably one of the very few people that can battle up against Divorce, but at the same time, if he gets blinked on and gets mana burned twice, he has no mana for a telekinesis, and then he'll get mana voided to death. So he's going to be very cautious on this lane. I'd also point out too what Denny just purchased up. This is very typical Dendy kind of pudge. He'll normally do this when he is approaching the nighttime around the 6-minute mark, because then he tries to use Fog of War to find a lot more kills. But it's also normally when he'd be walking around with Bottle or something along these lines. But instead he buys Magic Wand and he buys the Smoke. And normally he'll trigger the Smoke when he's back at base and then come out for a kill. In this case, he has no reason to leave the front lines.
Oh yeah, certainly not. And you see the wording on C9, they're completely aware of what kind of antics that Dendi might be up to. Now Dendi has shown his cards and not really attempting to hide it, I guess. He shows the smoke inside his inventory. And the thing is, he can always look for a solo kill because Pudge with the smoke kind of functions like the previous Alchemist in the sense that you kind of just throw a nuke or a skill shot, or actually not the Alchemist. You kind of throw a nuke and then it's out of range, so you can't really react too well.
Yeah.
But yeah, here it is. So let's see how long it takes before he goes for it, because he should be aware that C9 has a ward on their hill.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take for C9 to shut down one of these lanes. The lane switch-ups, like after that first advantage on the top lane, like Danny doesn't move, which is fair enough. Now Fissure, Hawk, Rot, Dismember, Sing Sing. He might get himself away in time though, because he's got enough mana to do so. And he's away of Funnick. Funnick triggered off his Ollie to try and help out with that one too. So lucky to survive there, Sing Sing. It's a good thing he had strength treads up instead of the intel. But you got a Vorst now free farming bottom lane. He's 40 for 12 down here on the bottom lane, man, with the Perseverance 7 minutes into this game. Your Luna's is nowhere near that. Like, it's 31 for 3 over on Envy, but he's splitting his experience as well up here on the top lane. Like,
yeah,
right now, C9 are losing all 3 lanes, and they need to change this around quickly. Like, very quickly.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I guess in retrospect,
he's down here up against a Vorst. As he can get the kill, he has got no support whatsoever here. And now Puppy's going to come in from the side, and he has to zip himself away to safety.
Yeah, that was a real move of safety right there. I don't think Puppy and Havos could have really done much other than maybe drop a right click with the chilling touch. I guess to avoid that, it's worth investing the mana, but yeah, I guess you know what? It's fine to be wary at nighttime anyway. Dendi is smoked up down here, so maybe it wasn't the wise idea to stick around too long and get cocky.
Yeah.
But regardless, he's doing what he can by trying to harass out the enemy mage a little bit.
Dendi,
and
with that smoke, he's just sitting on the edge. He's looking for the hook line, and he doesn't miss it. He doesn't hit it. He misses Sing Sing completely. Sing Sing stuck around and got, in fact, greed helps him in this case. He stayed closer towards the creep wave to get a last hit, and Dendi just thought he'd walk backwards, so the hook will fly astray.
Sing Sing is actually playing this perfectly. The amount of aggression he's putting out on the enemy, like Havos must be very frustrated and pretty bothered by the fact that there's a Storm Spirit doing this, because they don't actually have that much reliable lockdown barring the Earthshaker as well as the Pudge if he lands his hook. And now the Pudge is getting pinged out, so C9 are completely aware of the game. It was pinged out by Bone7, who's actually taking his talents into the jungle. And yeah, just as you said, in terms of lanings, I feel like C9 is slowly losing out. But it's not over. Once again, the ability for an Axe to scale with his Berserker's Call after all the buff ups, as well as the changes to Blink Dagger that buffs it up quite significantly as well, it really does help. And Axe could very well become something in the metagame if it gets played properly and consistently. It really is a very powerful hero with his Berserker's Call.
Yeah. I just wonder if C9 are a little bit annoyed though, after what you said at the start. Now they're forced to jungle the Axe.
Yeah.
This is what they need. Like, Pilot got some space in the middle lane while all that rotation was going on. Same thing can be said about Korra, but it's more important for a Rubik to find his level 6. And they get forced out of this top lane. But it's the wisest thing you could do. You send a Storm Spirit, the one hero that cannot die to Navi right now unless they commit at least 3, if not 4 heroes. So you put him on the off lane up against a Vorst. That works nicely. Then you got Axe who's jungling and doing jungles very, very quickly. He can move back towards the middle lane, but no, they'll send the Rubik back here again. So Pardai can finally his level 6. And Envy has Mask of Madness going in for the Great.
Radiant's bottom tower
Realizing, well,
is under
Navi
attack.
have a bit of a contradiction lineup. Because are you looking for kills with a Prophet as well as Dendi? The answer should be yes, but Anti-Mage isn't looking to fight yet. So the 5-man fight of C9 is a lot stronger than that of Navi's, just because Vorst is not ready to be there yet.
For sure, for sure. Once again, that's just what the hero brings to the table a lot of times, is that he forces the 4v5, whether you like it or not. He usually has to be on the map because he's farming creeps, because it's better than farming neutrals, and Animage doesn't necessarily have the innate sustain built into him in the form of regen, as well as other things to fight up the neutrals early on. So yeah, it's a lot of things that C9 can use to their advantage. And speaking of which, Paladai just picked up Fissure. I think people know how I feel about Rubik's picking up Fissure. It's basically a no-cast animation stun, longest range, one of the best possible initiations when it comes to stuns. Earth Spirit level of initiation, before the nerfs anyway, or changes, and certainly game-changing.
Vorst is watching Sing Sing here on the bottom lane. Blink is up. Let's see how long it takes before we see that axe coming towards the front lines now. Because Bone7's back at base. He has a TP scroll. Someone gave him smoke. I got a feeling he's coming down the bottom lane for a Vorst. At the same time, yeah, you're seeing it already. It's just the prep work coming out from Sing Sing. The future from the real Kuro will come in. So we basically make a T-square down here on the bottom. As Sing Sing's going to jump in. You can feel it right now on Puppey. There's your quick jump, right over the top. Vorst still in the tree line. He knows he's low, but there comes the axe. And he brings it. AM through the ulti, having it revealed off of Vorst's position. He gets back behind the tower, and Prophet is able to get now a double kill. Thunder came in through the rear, and then the hook in from Dandy finishes up the axe. So C9, they had so much control over this bottom lane, and it all went ass over tit.
That's a situation right there where I could actually tell Paladai's frustration showed in his play. He dropped the Fisher, and he basically, I think he assumed that Sing Sing would bait. What ended up happening was Sing Sing. This has a lot to do with how Vost plays. Like the way he just blinks into the enemy, even though it's a situation where he could die, it just forces the enemy on their back foot because they're so scared. Like this guy's so aggressive. Why is he here? He has to have supports backing him up.
Well,
but if you saw,
that was the funny thing though. Like, he never even had to blink in. He was in this little tree line here. He threw out the AM ulti from the tree line, and they're like, "Holy crap, AM is here!" And then he blinks away to safety after they initiate on him. So we never even had to waste the blink.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm talking about the point before when Paladai actually used the Fisher that he stole and stunned him up, and in the meanwhile, Pudge gets a nice hook and a kill, solo kill on the Dazzle, RE2000, pushing out the lane as a support, doing the best he can. But really though, yeah, once again, like, Sing Sing, every single time I've seen Havos jump on him with a blink, with nobody near proximity, Sing Sing just back with his ultimate. Like, this is the fear that Havos as a player puts into other people, and it's nobody else does this on carry hero except him.
Smoke revealed, and Vorst blinks away. They're hunting for him. The AA ulti was even coming down right now. It's going to hit on top of Sing Sing. But Vorst, we have a pre-13-minute Battle Fury up and running on an anti-mage that started in the off lane and hasn't got a single kill yet. But he does have 4 assists to his name. He's been a man of the people for the people.
4 assists on an enemy on a 13-minute Battle Fury. Havos, once again, I don't think there's many people that can do what he does or do what he does in competitive.
Yeah. Well, Envy's giving it a shot, man. He's got this Alpha Wolf up on the top lane, just trying to scout out, see what the hell's going on. While middle lane, we got more prep work. Fisher to hook, and again, RE2000 might be on the receiving end of it. But he's definitely holding back as far as he can. So the smoked heroes moving up, while Puppey puts down a nice aggressive ward inside the dire side jungle. And Bone7 as well as Owie up on the top. They're going to get a kill here on a Vorst. Lucent Beam, they're not getting off the full Eclipse because they only need the Culling Blade to come out there from Max. So Anti-Mage goes down. And RE2000 again on the run. This time it's only going to be Puppey, the A ulti. He walked nicely to the left, which means he doesn't get hit by the ulti. Unfortunately for him, though, the support was there. So Puppey, jump in by Sing Sing. Another Lucent Beam. Luna will be able to pick up his first kill right now. Finding Danny. Remember, these glaives are going to bounce pretty harshly against these two heroes. So Echo Slam from Kuro follows up with the Totem Stomp. And Sing Sing, not enough man to jump around, but Danny just hooks him down, realizing slight overcommitment there by the Storm Spirit. And that will now fuel the Blink Dagger purchase for Dandy's Pudge.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's such a big pickup. Once again, every single hero on the map is a squishy target. Even the Axe, who was forced into a Blink Dagger because of his role in this game, is a squishy target for Dandy. And don't even get me started on the Luna. She's sitting at sub 800 life points. First item, Helm of Dominator. She does not have jumps. She does not have necessary stats to be able to survive a full-blown
She will soon, like, it's still 1900 gold over on this Luna. So I assume Envy is just going to rush into a BKB.
Yeah, that's right. I think he has to at this point. Oh, he's gonna go Yasha. He's gonna go super greedy build because he's facing an anti-mage.
That could bite him in the ass later on. It could also be absolutely amazing for him. Because there is one great thing that's still in place for C9, is the fact they hold all 3 tier 1 towers. So Denny doesn't really have this easy just jump in maneuverability. Like, you got nice aggressive ward inside the dire side jungle, so he'll be flagged before that. There's just some good warding out from C9, and they can watch the rotations from Navi. They don't have to get caught out, and support can come in pretty quickly. So if they do keep that space and not have Envy do what he's doing right now, which is hunting, but basically next to his own tier 2 tower, out of pure fear, then they're looking better.
Yeah, but
right
once
now,
again, this is the thing. the Pudge having the Blink Dagger it puts that much more fear into anybody, because assuming that the Pudge can hit the hooks, and this is Dendi we're talking about, so if you want to talk about hitting hooks, not many players in competitive scene you can rely on better than this guy. That's basically an extra 1,000 range to his initiation. This guy's Pudge is basically a clockwork right now, and as Luna, you have to be pretty scared of that kind of damage.
Paladai's running away here on the top lane. Funnick wants to find him. They're going to go straight to telekinesis and throw him back on top of Puppy, but Paladai's going to go down. And Envy! I don't know if that was a missed trigger, if that was just meant to be a Lucent Beam or not, but he just threw out the Eclipse.
Okay, before we get to Envy Bash, I kind of want to say that.
Dendi gets the hook in, and Voss comes in to help him out.
Yeah.
And now they're going to go and just 5-man it on the tier 1 tower. But yeah, back to what you're saying.
Well, just before we go into Envy bashing and the towers are going down tier 1s, Dendi has rotated himself to the top. He has the Blink Dagger available, so I'm going to have to hold that thought. He might initiate right now.
Oh, he's got the line for Sing Sing, and he got him. Sing Sing's got to jump away in time, though. And Koro! Oh! Slams him into the deck, and Dendi running quickly, slowing down Aoi. The Urn's already having its effect right now. He'll have to shallow grave himself up, so Dendi turns the rod off while Funnick ends up killing up again another courier. Aoi turns to fight, but the creep wave will take him out. The Aeoli has managed to hit up here on the top lane, so Envy's having no regeneration, but Culling Blade, Bone 7, he's gonna finish the job right now. Finish the job! Finishes the job! But Denny's not done just yet too. He's also in the tree line, but Bone 7 coming down for Koro. He's got Battle Hunger off cooldown in a moment. He's just trying to stay clear of the totem stomp so he can get this Culling Blade off finally. There it goes. Spins around from the creep wave. Is able to get that one, but the AM ulti taking down a lot of Bone 7's light points into the corner. Forced out. Now you'll go down. Denny was also chasing down to try and help off. A little bit further up in the lane. Sing Sing's jumped on top of Puppy, but then Blink into a Dismember. He can't finish the job. And that is going to end our top engagement.
Just an ample number of things, really, but the coordination on C9, honestly, Toby, it just seems like it's kind of falling apart. I mean, starting from the Rubik thing at top lane, I know people want to bash Envy for that kind of empty missed ultimate, but Paladai could have very well pulled in the target that he telekinesis.
Paladai? Probably going to hit first. He's just at a range though of the hook in, but he's got that anti-mage blink, so it's so difficult for them to keep up with him. And now we get BTs on Dendi. Okay.
Standard Dendi, honestly. His map mobility is basically unparalleled right now, except barring the Prophet, who's actually on his team, so it's basically more assistance and support.
The Prophet is the man that helps him. You saw 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, where basically Prophet summoned an army of trees, and he spaced them out across the dire side jungle. It sees exactly where C9 is, but it also gives an option now for Dendi to use on BTs.
I know a lot of people, once again, are thinking that the Pudge seems semi-troll pick kind of thing, but really, this hero, if you're good at landing hooks, this hero can very well become one of the most viable heroes. If Axe can be viable, trust me, Pudge can most certainly be. And now C9 have rotated all 5 heroes to the bottom lane, 4 of which are smoked. I think they're completely aware that Navi are not falling for this sort of trick at any point, especially not now when Navi have such a huge advantage and all the map control.
With a blink in from Paladai into a telekinesis, they could possibly pick up a Voss, but it's just not happening. Funnick is solo taking out the tier 2 tower mid, and they're TPing back. First one to come in is going to be the Axe, but they're using Funnick as bait. So the call to start with, and then Dendi just hooks Funnick away to safety. The Aeoli's also going to fly in here pretty hard here on Bone 7, so he's going to back up too, even with Aoi here in support. Shallow Grave's the only thing
Dendi has a hook.
Blink, hook, and he gets Sing Sing. Not the one he wants though. Telekinesis will drag him out. Then a follow-up Vortex, and now finally it's a good Eclipse. This time Kuro will go down. He doesn't get the ulti off, but Bone 7, he's so close to getting Funnick. Lucent Beam will take him out. We have a call up in 3 seconds time, and then Puppy will have to stop running. Denny is still back behind the lines, hooking in now in 2000 into the Dismember kill. And now C9 had to look over their shoulder, realizing they're being battled down while up on top lane. A Voss taking out a tier 2 tower. Denny's going to go for a secondary hook, this time into Bone 7. It's a quick call up. The Bone 7 will still go down, giving Denny a double kill. Puppy battling up against Envy in the mid lane here, also with Paladai. And Storm Spirit jumps away from a blinking Dendi. Sing Sing is out of mana, but a Voss, he'll capitalize on that one. He's got off a mana void, and he's looking for a kill. Paladai is also retreating out. There's no Observer Wars to scout this one out. And a Voss, he's going to blink down. He's just here for the farm. He's not even here for the kills.
Oh man, that might have cost him his life there though.
They need a telekinesis. Follow up. Hold him. Hold him. He's being maybe blinks into the river. The poison
Oh,
touch
the
is
poison
on him.
touch, the poison touch. It's physical damage. He's TPing, he's not gonna make it. Is he gonna make it? He's not gonna make
Ah, he has it, base.
it. What a sequence of events, really. Just, my oh my.
Two big kills though, they just got on a boss. Like, it's 151 CS in 22 minutes, sitting at almost 11k net worth, but he has died twice. Still, this should still not be forgotten. And once the Orchid arrives on Sing Sing, this Battle Fury into a Yasha, if he has the mana style up and running, then yeah, he can break free of the silence, but he can't break free of Bone 7 as well. So one jump in initiation to a second initiation, and you can find yourself with quick kills. So C9 have the heroes that can drag this game back, that can pull what was 8,000 experience back. If that happens in the middle lane, however, it gets a lot harder.
Oh, for sure.
But
honestly, Toby,
the
I'm gonna
heroes.
put it this way. If the Earthshaker support on the other team has more farm than your mid lane Storm Spirit, something is not going right. And quite honestly, Sing Sing is having a very contrary performance in comparison to his first game. This game, he's just not having the impact because honestly, Dendi on the other hand is just wreaking havoc all over.
Well, he's already got 7 charges on that flash heap, and ever since that got buffed up too, you're seeing its advantage. He's got Earn as well as an Oak Club, and he's still got 2.1k life points they've got to get through. Now, C9, they've been pushing the bottom lane, Funnick's down here, they TP heroes in, and Bone 7 got hit the second he arrived. So that's just fly. In fact, that's also an observer board watching every single TP in. And it also allows Denny to have perfect vision to see where he wants to blink and then just get a perfect hook in. And he's looking at Pylai die in this bottom lane. Fissure, AOT, hook him, dragged it away from the AOT, and Bone 7 jumped in on this one, but he can't really fight this mana where it's been burnt away. In comes Sing Sing, the Eclipse from Envy. He's got to start attacking, get those glaives bouncing around in this one right now. Somehow Sing Sing, it's the shallow grave, keeping him alive. Denny is still here in the middle of the fight, and one hook into Sing Sing. No! He got Owie 2000, so Sing Sing will now initiate Poison Touch onto Dendy. This is a big one. This is 7-0. Dazzle will take it. 960 gold into the bottom lane too. Bone 7 battling up against Funnick. He'll move into the corner. 3 seconds to Sprout, but Envy is staying in as close as he can. Lucent Beam, we were talking about it in game number 2, and we get it here in game number 3. Lucent Beam cancels the TP out, and now Prophet also goes down. Navi might have just given the ticket to freedom here for C9.
Yeah, certainly. And honestly, I gotta sort of critique Havos for what's been going on. He was actually farming the neutral creeps instead of pushing the top lane. He already has the mana style, and he knows that the majority of C9s.
How envy.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I think Havos had like trollface.jpg on his face the whole time, kind of laughing. And not exactly responding the appropriate manner, but he's not really losing advantages. He's farming up just as well. It's just I feel like it would have been more appropriate if he just did a little bit of damage on that tier 3 inside the base, because the opportunity rose when all of C9's heroes were occupied in the massive bottom fight. But yeah, there's plenty to talk about that bottom fight, of course. I mean, every single fight. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the punch factor or it's just everything kind of going mishy-mashy all over the place. But a very entertaining game nonetheless, and looks like we're gonna just keep having the progression.
Oh,
I mean,
Envy! Funnick's here! Funnick is here!
Oh, that's
He's
a
able to
necro
cut
bolt.
his way through with that Quelling Blade outside the Sprout, and there's an extra TP now coming in from Bone 7. Again, he gets hit by this Wrath of Nature. So again, he knows there's a ward there on the sidelines. They should be very happy that Envy was able to survive that.
absolutely. Smart pickup on the Quelling Blade. It's always one of those things that you absolutely need against a good Prophet player, because Prophets, especially with the map vision that Navi has garnered for themselves, they're always going to look to make that solo play, whether it be the split pushing or the solo kills. And they have the ability to do so with that teleportation. They can come to you before you realize it, and they can take the fight when you don't want. So it's just one of the great advantages of that hero and what map control gives him.
I'm interested to see how long it's going to take for C9 to give this Roshan an attempt. Like, I know there's wards everywhere, and they need to get rid of these suckers before they can even do anything. And these two, look at just these wards here on the bottom lane. One here, one here. They see everything. And this sentry ward, oh, the inch. It is an inch away from actually getting the reveal of the observer ward. That is just, now that's frustration. They need a jam basically, but they can't be sure they'll hold on to it forever.
Yeah, that is very fortuitous on the side of Navi, but very misfortunate for C9. And what basically happened was while they were rotating their 5 heroes, look at what's happening with Navi. I know Dendy's not exactly taking advantage of it because he's looking for kills more than farm. But
Puppy, one more hit. Envy can't get close to the Vortex. Lucid Beam's
Lucid
still
Beam.
down. And there's your Prophet holding that bouncing through. Luna does get the kill. TP at the time. And Danny, no! Blink into the Dismember. And that is Prophet taking Luna's wicked streak. 978 gold was just given to a Nature's Prophet, so he's got 3 levels up in the Necro book, but also with 3.8k gold. And
They're
Dandy,
looking at Roche.
I'm looking at Bone 7. I'm looking at Bone 7. There would have been a blink up to a hook right then if he wanted to have a crack at it.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna set their eyes on the bigger objective here and play it safe a little bit, or I think have a moment of ceasefire, because they really need a breather, both teams at this point, man. So much action going on and a lot of great movement coming out of both sides, but it seems like Navi's just getting the better exchange every single time. And here it is, D just popping, the Roshan given to Havost, who actually hasn't died for a very long time.
Yeah.
I know we pointed out the 2 deaths that he had, and of course every death on an anti-mage is absolutely huge, but not exactly insurmountable, and Havost demonstrating that in a fine manner.
Funny going for a very unconventional item for Prophets these days. An Aghanim Scepter Prophet. Very rarely is this thing picked up. Havost only just missing that TPing out Sing Sing as well. Mana Void would have stopped him and had him dead to rights. But yeah, an Aghanim Scepter up on Prophet. Not many Prophets do it, because it's also a bit of a dick thing to do when it comes to like pushing out the off lanes, because you take all the money. And your damage output during the team fight, it actually is nicely increased, but only if it's in a good position. The most Prophets go for direct damage, so like, you look for the Desolators, you look for Monkey King bars, you look for kills right now. Over on Pumpy, you got a quick ALD off, which means the Echo Slam hits so hard on Sing Sing. Bone 7 jumped in for the Cello Grave, but now he also was in trouble. Ancient Apparition through all of that gets denied to a neutral. Denny's Blink Dagger is also off cooldown, and of course, he's on Bone 7 right now. A blink over to a Dismember will get a kill. TP out by Eternal Envy. They accept Bone 7 will die. He turned on the Blade Mouse, did a little bit of extra damage before death. But Navi are the ones who are getting the advantage in the hunt.
And just to comment about the Aghanim Scepter, of course, it is unconventional, not exactly recommended in most game scenarios, but I think Funnick realizes his function this game. As soon as he tried to solo kill up the Luna earlier on, about 5 minutes ago at the Ancients, he realizes with the Quelling Blade, and speaking of which, hold that thought, Luna is dead.
Yeah, Dismember onto Luna, and takes care of the extra illusions as well. But once that BKB comes up, the Eclipse does nothing, so he can just stand there and tank it all. While up on top lane, Havost in very, very deep, but then Mana Style Sing Sing! He did a quick jump, but Havost gets a double kill, triple kill, and GG! That's gonna be all she wrote. 28 minutes in, Navi will remain undefeated here in the Dota 2 Champions League. Of course, if you do want to support this awesome league, put it into the prize pool. And we've got some awesome objectives too to hit. There will be, hopefully, I believe there is meant to be LAN finals. If we hit a certain amount, it's the community that decides where the LAN finals will be for the next season here of the D2CL. But right now, Navi 3-0. Buy your tickets inside the game. Watch here in the Daily Motion live streams. Either way, it's great Dota. Great place to enjoy it. All VODs will be also uploaded